What's going on? What's happening, fellas? It's your boy KD. Let's get right into it. There is no secret that social media has definitely changed the way we interact and communicate in the world today. There's been many advances and opportunities that social media has definitely brought. We can all agree with that, obviously. But have you ever considered that social media is actually the one thing that is killing your brain? So if you're new to my channel, the purpose of my videos is to help you become a top tier man, become the best version of yourself, and live a fulfilled life. So guys, social media has become a gift and a curse in the modern world that we live in today. There's a lot of great things that social media has brought to us, but there's also a lot of things that's definitely corrupting our society. And we all can definitely see this play out in the world that we live in today. As a top tier man, or as a man aspiring to be a top tier man, you have to understand the role that social media plays in your life. So I'm going to give you guys a few areas in life where social media can definitely be a distraction and a detriment. And hopefully after watching this video, you get one step closer to being the best version of yourself. Let's get right into it. All right, guys. So I'm not going to speak for women in this video. Obviously, the point of my channel is to help my fellas out. But as men, you have to understand that if you want to get things done and you want to be as productive as possible, you have to get rid of social media. All right, now there's two different ways that you can use social media. One, you can use it for entertainment and pleasure. All right, and that's most of the world. A lot of people just find themselves scrolling on social media all day. They pretty much got TikTok brain, as we like to call it. And TikTok brain is basically you just scrolling aimlessly on social media. Just taking dopamine hit after dopamine hit with no goal. All right, just for pure entertainment. And then you got the other side of social media where people actually use it for business and they're being productive and proactive on social media platforms. All right, so if you want to get things done, you have to understand that social media is a big distraction. Between all the naked females on there, the stupid reels and trends that they got going on, and also all of the propaganda that's happening on social media, it can definitely be a big distraction if it's not already for you. See, I've done a little bit of studying and researching on social media, and what I've learned about the algorithms on social media is the point of it is to keep you engaged, is to keep you on the channel. All right, so it's going to load you up with a bunch of nonsense, a bunch of false news, propaganda, foolishness, nudity, just stuff that you do not need to see, and things that are not going to help you accomplish the things that you need to in your life. And that's pretty much all you're getting is dopamine hit after dopamine hit. And the biggest problem with this is that these dopamine hits that you're getting, they're not healthy for you, because at the end of the day, after you finish scrolling, after you finish entertaining yourself, there's no achievements, there's no accomplishments afterwards. So it's going to be very detrimental to your mindset. So getting things done, fellas, if you're spending all of your time on social media, it's going to be very hard for you to be productive and get things done. The time that you're spending scrolling on TikTok, scrolling on Instagram, looking at reels, that can be time you can be using to get closer to where you want to be, to build your character, to be the best version of yourself. Because I've said this many times before on my channel, and I'm going to keep saying it again. The world is very competitive, especially for men. In 2024, this is probably the most competitive year ever in history for men. The reason why is because there is so much opportunity out there that everybody is grabbing it. In today's world, you can be who and whatever you want to be now. All right, if you want to be rich, you can be rich. If you want to be successful, if you want to be strong, if you want to have a big network, you can have all of it. But you cannot have this if you're constantly spending your days and your time on social media. Because like I said, the world is very competitive. Just think about this. If you're competing with another man and both of you guys want the same thing and you're trying to get to the same place, but you spend half your day on social media and he doesn't, he is going to win. He is going to beat you every single time. Why? Because his time is going towards the things that are productive. There is nothing productive about scrolling on social media. There's nothing productive about looking at girls, liking pictures, sharing posts, or anything like that. Unless you are doing it with a business mindset. Unless you are actively networking. Unless you are actively selling a product, learning a skill, building a business, building a community. Unless you are doing these things, you are wasting your time on social media. Trust me on this. Now, I can play devil's advocate and say social media is good because I'm a content creator and this is where you can meet me and watch my content. But if you are not learning, see, the point of my channel is for you to learn. It's self-development. So this is one of the few ways where using social media is actually productive. If you are learning something, if you are getting better, if you are self-developing, there is no problem with that. See, that's one of the beautiful things about social media today. You can actually learn. You can actually watch videos and study content that is actually going to help you become a better man. But if you're not engaging in that type of content, but you're engaging in toxic, degenerate content, fellas, it is a waste of time. You only get so many hours, so many days, so many weeks, years in your life that you cannot afford it to waste scrolling on social media, watching other people have fun, watching other people live their life and chase their goals. Because this is the thing. I look around, like I'll go out to a certain place, like to the grocery store, to the mall, and I'll just watch people and how hard it is for people to concentrate and focus on anything. Why? Because they have TikTok brain. All right, they literally have TikTok brain to the point where they can't focus on anything for more than 10 seconds. All right, they're just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And the crazy part about when people scroll on social media is there's no end goal behind it. This is why it's so detrimental, because you're getting dopamine hit after dopamine hit without an end goal, without an accomplishment behind it. There is nothing that you're looking to accomplish after you finish scrolling on social media. This is why it is so detrimental to your brain. I don't know the actual scientific study behind the actual dopamine effect that it has, so I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, but I do know the difference between me being on social media and me not being on social media. I actually took a year break, about a year and a half break from social media, and I guarantee you, bro, this was the best year of my life because I actually had time to do things that I didn't have time to do when I was scrolling on social media. You know, like, let's say if I took 5 minutes out of each hour of my day to be on social media, that's almost an hour of my day that I actually wasted. Now, I actually used to spend a lot more time on social media than 5 minutes an hour, but that would be an hour of my day that I've actually wasted, a cumulative hour of my day that I've actually wasted just scrolling, just looking at nonsense. You know what I'm saying, guys? So you have to understand the difference between people who are successful and the difference between people who are not successful is your daily habits, the thing that you do every day, the information that you consume every day. So if you got one person who's consuming self-development content, learning, developing, getting better, they're working on their business, and then you got another person who's spending their time on social media, scrolling, looking at girls, retweeting stuff, you know, posting nonsense, the results are going to be day and night, fellas. There's going to be a huge difference between the results you're going to get from living these two different lifestyles. And I think one of the biggest problems that social media has on our society today, differentiating between real life and social media. All right, fellas, when you get on social media, all you see is the highlights. All you see is the good points. All you see is smiles. All you see is people having fun. People showing you the great and the good things about their life. But what you rarely see is real life. Because we all are human. We all understand that life is not perfect. No matter what level you get to in life, no matter if you're dead broke, no matter if you're rich, there are still going to be problems in life. But the problem with social media is people don't show their problems. People don't show the struggles. People don't show the downs. They show the ups, but they don't show the downs. They show the sunshine, but they don't show the rain. So if you're a person and you're striving to become better and you're chasing your goals and you're accomplishing things, if you're seeing people on social media that have way more than you and you're comparing yourself to them, that is a no-go, fellas. That's probably the worst thing you can do, because what you're doing is you're comparing your real life to only the highlights that they show. You're not comparing your struggles to their struggles, and your down days to their down days, and your problems to their problems. You're not doing that. That's not what people do when they look at other people on social media. All you see is the happiness. All you see is the prosperity, and you do not see the bad days. You don't see the dark side. This is the problem with spending too much time on social media, because your mind gets clouded with the successes of others. And then you fall into this comparison stage. to where everything you see, you're comparing your life to them. All right, you cannot do this. You have to focus on you and where you're at in your life. This is why I think a lot of people suffer from depression and anxiety, because they're spending time on social media all day looking at the lives of others, the highlights, not the real lives, but the highlights of others, and comparing it to their whole real life. This is why I believe there's so much mental illness going on now, because now we live in a world of comparison, and it is very unhealthy. And not only that, we also live in a world of false media. All right, there's a lot of false media that is spread around on social media, and it is easy to get confused or conflicted upon like which is right or which is correct or which is false or which is made up. It is very hard nowadays, guys. And the problem is most people only get their news and their information from social media. That's most people's news source and their only news source. All right, guys, but on social media, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, there's a lot of false information there spread. So you have to be careful when you're consuming this information, because it's easy to be led astray if you're not aware of all the other sources that are out there. All right, guys, when I look on social media and I see something or I hear something, I make sure I check 3, 4, 5, 6 other sources before I actually believe that thing. Because I know anybody can start a profile and just start posting random things or false things or to try to lead other people astray. So I'm very careful when I see certain things like this. All right, guys, so you have to be mindful of the things that you are consuming. This is definitely going to affect your mentality and your mindset as a man. All right, many men are depressed nowadays because they get every single thing from social media. They get their guidance, they get their news, they get their inspiration, they get their information, they get everything that they need in their life from social media. Yes, I do believe at getting inspiration and motivation and information from social media, as I do myself. I have mentors that I watch and that I study and that I follow that are very helpful for me throughout my journey. But I don't over consume on just a bunch of information, bunch of random stuff, bunch of random TikToks, bunch of random reels. The reason why I follow under 20 people on my Instagram, because I want to limit the amount of things that I'm exposed to throughout the day. Because I spend a lot of time on social media because of what I do as a content creator. So I have to be really mindful of the things that I see. You know what I'm saying? So I only follow about 15, 16 people because I've orchestrated my social media algorithm to where I only see what I want to see. There's not just a bunch of random things that's catching my attention throughout the day while I'm trying to focus on my goals. So again, as a top tier man, you have to be very mindful that social media can be actually killing your brain. Social media can be a real distraction if you're not aware of the amount of time that you're spending on it. Also, if you're not aware of the type of content that you are consuming. All right, fellas, I appreciate you guys for tuning in today. It's your boy KD. If you haven't grabbed my top tier charisma or top tier Superman fragrance, please shoot me a DM on Instagram and I'm going to get one of those to you. Also, check out all the positive reviews and my highlights on my Instagram page as well. I'm going to put a link to my Instagram in the description of this video. It's your boy KD. We out of here, baby.